I had to make this video because as I was reading the book of Jasher, I came across something that did not bear truth to my spirit, you know, concerning Isaac and Rebekah. It tells you in the book of Jasher, chapter 24, that Rebekah was 10 years old and Isaac was 40 years old when he married her and basically took her in his mother's tent. And that's just not true. That was added in there. And I got to expose this lie because there are Israelite men teaching, when a girl starts her cycle, then she could be married, you know, to a grown man, basically, according to the Bible. And they're teaching that, yeah, it's not allowed today because of the laws of the land, but in biblical times that's what they were doing. And so this would be, proof for them, but I gotta expose this because I was once a 10-year-old little girl, and me reading more into Rebekah's conversation during this time, how she would communicate things leads me to believe she was not 10 years old. Yes, it's going to take some common sense and some experience to really understand this. And I just want to read because I refuse to let this lie be on Isaac. I know that when they were translating the Hebrew records, that they would change things here and there for whatever agenda. And so this is one thing that they did do, knowing that Isaac was chosen by the Most High, and they trying to make it seem that Isaac basically, had sex with a 10-year-old, and that's just out of line, and it's a lie. So let me just read chapter 20, the book of Jasher, chapter 24, verse 38. And Eliezer related to them all his concerns, and that he was Abraham's servant, and they greatly rejoiced at him. And they all blessed Yahweh who brought this thing about, and they gave him Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, for a wife for Isaac. And the young woman was of very comely appearance. She was a virgin, and Rebekah was 10 years old in those days. And Bethuel and Laban and his children made a feast on that night, and Eliezer and his men came and ate and drank and rejoiced there on that night. And Eliezer rose up in the morning, he and the men that were with him, and he called to the whole household of Bethuel, saying, Send me away, that I may go to my master. And they rose up and sent away Rebekah and her nurse Deborah, the daughter of Uz, and they gave her silver and gold, men servants and maid servants, and they blessed her. And they sent Eliezer away with his men, and the servants took Rebekah, and he went and returned to his master to the land of Canaan. And Isaac took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he brought her into the tent. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of his uncle Bethuel, for a wife. That's just not true. So I'm going to be reading from the King James Bible. Genesis chapter 24. All right, so let me start reading at Genesis chapter 24, verse 45. And before I had done speaking in mine heart, behold, Rebekah came forth with her pitcher on her shoulder, and she went down unto the well and drew water. And I said unto her, Let me drink, I pray thee. And she made haste, and let down her pitcher from her shoulder, and said, Drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. So I drank, and she made the camels drink also. And I asked her and said, Whose daughter art thou? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, Nahor's son, whom Milcah bare unto him. And I put the earring upon her face and the bracelets upon her hands. And I bowed down my head and worshiped Yahweh, and blessed Yahweh, God of my master Abraham, which had led me in the right way to take my master's brother's daughter unto his son. And now, if ye will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing proceedeth from Yahweh. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her, and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife, as Yahweh hath spoken. And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped Yahweh, bowing himself to the earth. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. He gave also to her brother and to her mother precious things. And they did eat and drink, he and the men that were with him, and tarried all night. And they rose up in the morning, and he said, Send me away unto my master. And her brother and her mother said, Let the damsel abide with us a few days, at the least 10. After that she shall go. And he said unto them, Hinder me not, seeing Yahweh hath prospered my way. Send me away, that I may go to my master. And they said, We will call the damsel and inquire at her mouth. And they called Rebekah and said unto her, Wilt thou go with this man? And she said, I will go. And they sent away Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. So, right here, I was once a 10-year-old little girl, and I would have never done that. At 10 years old, you want to be with your mommy and daddy, period. To go out, for her to say she would go off with this stranger, it's just not the mindset of a 10-year-old little girl. And you can try to distort it and manipulate whatever you want, but the mindset of a 10-year-old little girl is not willing to go off with strange grown men. They asked her if she wanted to go with him. Him giving her earrings and jewelry, bracelets and things like that is not going to make her trust him. So the Most High had hand in all of this, right? Because, he was asking for signs and things like that. And the Most High let it be Rebekah. So, according to the book of Jasher, she's 10 years old. Okay, so when she finally conceived, she had twins. Make her have twins? That is crazy. Or even 11 years old, even 12 years old. To even think that that is how the Most High operates, and that Isaac would look at a little girl in that way. Even then, like, the Most High would not do that. Like, the Most High is a merciful, loving God. I don't like how people could inject and change things, and people just go along with it just because it's in the Bible, or just because it's in a Hebrew record, and just go along with it, knowing that it don't make no sense. And his father was an example. Abraham was an example to Isaac. And Sarah was in Abraham's life from when she was a baby. He never married her at a young age. He married her when she was grown. I did a video on that. She was what, late 30s, early 40s when he finally married her. So, for the Most High to lead Abraham's servant to a 10-year-old, that is just not the Most High. And me being once a 10-year-old girl, I don't see the Most High allowing that. I was an innocent 10-year-old little girl. I just don't see the Most High allowing that. And then her having twins. Like that was totally injected. It's a lie. And common sense and experience reveals this. For whatever agenda they did that, whether it was to make Isaac look bad, make pedophilia acceptable in the Israelite community, because some Israelite men would go there to prove their doctrine on being with young girls. And it's sick and twisted and distorted and not of the Most High. Why? Because I was once a 10-year-old girl, and I know 10-year-olds right now. And you can't say that, oh, well, they probably thought differently. The 10-year-olds thought differently back then. They were groomed or whatever the case. No, that's twisted and distorted. The Most High, He would not do that to no 10-year-old. And we all know the pregnancy Rebekah had. They were fighting inside of her. And she was crying out to the Most High because she finally conceived, but she was in pain and going through it. Why would y'all really think the Most High would do that to a 10-year-old? So the reality of what happened, they completely just added that number in. Simple as that. She was a different age. They put 10 years old. Period. So if you want to believe that, oh, she was definitely 10, that is the absolute correct translated number there, and you want to have that mindset of all those distorted things concerning Isaac and Rebekah, then that's you. But I know Isaac was not like that. I know the Most High is not like that. And to think that our forefathers, even during biblical times, would have y'all are insulting their intelligence if you think that they was interested in little girls even during their times. Like they wouldn't understand the difference between a child and a grown-up. That would be totally insulting their intelligence. Because even today, you can tell the mindset of a child versus an adult mind. And to think that they weren't wise enough to understand when a woman was ready to be a wife, mentally, physically, emotionally, then that's you if you want to think that way about them. But I'm not going to allow that lie to just be there